Okay, so you see the organization have the culture. In the Japanese, they have the norm. Okay, their culture is to bow down to the other person. If other stakeholders, if other people visit their company, they will bow down. It's common, but it's not practice in other country or other company. And you see the giving the card, visiting card. Also, they have the rules. This is called business etiquette. Okay, so the superior power, if you are superior, if you are boss, okay, if your company is big to your other person's company, then you giving the card from your finger will be on top of the card. But if you are less powerful, then you take the card, your finger will be behind, your finger will be down the card, okay, not up. So this there have the rules. So this also organization have different beliefs, different values. The behavior also different, because in multinational company, in multicultural company, we are coming from the different culture. So our belief, our values are different. So we have to respect all the people's personality. All the companies also have personality. Okay, so we have to respect all of them. We should not hurt to the other people's uh, mentality or other people's mind. Okay, religious, okay, cannot. So strong culture and socialization. The strong organization should be clear and well defined that what is their culture. Okay, like in some companies. Okay, I know some companies, they have rules. You have to every day wear the tie. Okay, you have to go by wearing the tie. If otherwise, you have to give the penalty. Okay, 10 ringgit, 15 ringgit, you have to give the penalty. And also in the hotel, okay, you have to clean shave, okay, every time, every day clean shave. If little bit beard also cannot, not allowed. So this is the organization culture. So you cannot ignore those. So when you enter in a company, I'm sure after your graduation, after your MBA, you will join in a company. So at first you have to know the organization culture, what culture they are following. So you have to follow, you have to obey their culture. So they have the team culture, their hierarchical culture, their rational culture, their entrepreneurial culture. Team culture, in the team culture, the all the responsibility, all the task, it's shared and distributed among the team members. The collaboration is key, important in those organizations. But in the hierarchical culture, there have the rules, regulation, and emphasize they you cannot change simply any type of, you cannot share your task with others employee in those organization, in those culture. The authority determine what you have to do, fixed already. And in the entrepreneur culture, the authority goes with idea. Enter the boss ask you, please give your idea, share your opinion. Okay, they are very flexible. You can give your creative idea to them, and they value it, and they act upon based on your idea. That is entrepreneurial culture. But in the rational culture, you see the authority shapes the serves the goal, efficiency, productivity rules, planning process valued. So there have the planning and process is important. Okay? Idea is not valued like this simply. So different culture, different company have this type of culture: team culture, hierarchical culture, rational culture, and entrepreneur culture. So this is observable culture. So if we can learn from the observe. We see, we hear from the employee and customer. Based on that, the culture built. Like the story, like the Apple's founder Steve Jobs. Okay, we know his story. So we cannot ignore his life lesson, what he done, what he did. Okay, so this is the uh, Apple. until they sustain in the market, okay, they always have to share the Steve Jobs story because he is a hero. So, like this, the story of a person and the past success, the symbol, the rational, those type of things determine our belief. The customer, their perception, okay, change based on the observation of this observation. So value-based management is developed, communicate, and enact shared values. They give value the opinions. Okay, they give value the diversity, the work-life balance, and ethical behavior. Work-life balance means if your work is fixed 9 to 5, so that means after 5 you can go back. Uh, so you can give time to your family, you can give times to yourself, you can go gym or you can do other things. Okay. So your life is a balance, but in some country and some company they don't allow like this. You have to finish your work no matter the time. So this so some company they values the life of an employee, but some company they don't value the life of an employee. In that case, the employee will be dissatisfied and they quit the job. This is a question only. Okay, the type of innovation. Innovation means the new idea and also new practices. In the process innovation have, the product innovation have, business model innovation have. The process innovation, how we things get done, the things. So in the process from the manufacturing, okay, they they bring change. They previously maybe they made by hand something, okay, but now the new products come into the market, so they're using the new product to making the things. So that is the process innovation. The product innovation as well, sometimes the color of the product, the packaging of the product, the ingredient of the product, okay, it change. The business model also change. The previously maybe they followed the B2C, now they go to B2B, like this changing happen. So this is the innovation. So you say there have innovation, also the social innovation, social entrepreneurship. We cannot ignore the Dr. Yunus. You see, I'm sure you heard his name. He's a Nobel laureate. Okay, he's from Bangladesh. He got the Nobel Prize because of the social entrepreneurship. He first initiated the lending money, okay, to the village people, okay, the village women. So like this they helping the life, they improve the life of the female. In that case nowadays it becomes a Grameen Bank. His company's name was Grameen. Okay, now it's become a big company. They have in Bangladesh also have the Grameen phone as well. Okay. So you see the simple idea, okay, from a village, okay, kampong, from a kampong it's now become a global company. The other country Mexico, the Malaysia also, they're following his innovation, his idea, they valued. In our UPM also they have one center, okay, Dr. Yunus Center. So how can we be innovate? The basic formula, or I can give you this example. You see the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG. There are 17 goals. Okay. So these 17 goals, it's simple. You just focus onto the one or two goal and you create something new. If you focus on the poverty, how can you reduce the poverty? How can you improve the financial condition of the uh, others people? If you focus into the you see the environment, okay, land or river and clean water, okay, So some companies, they focus onto the hygienic, okay, washing hands and cleaning the toilets, okay. So those type of things, how can you solve any problem of the community, any social problem like this? I can share you one example. Like I went in a conference, startup conference. There I saw one Malaysian company. They collecting their friend, actually university friend. They are collecting the foods from the restaurant after the 5 or 6 p.m. You see, you know that lot of restaurant, they are giving the promotion and offer, okay, like 20%, 30% promotion. So sometimes those foods are wasted and thrown away. But those friends, they go to the hotels, okay, the good reputable hotels, and they collected their foods, those foods, and they sell again to the other people. If of course they ensure the quality the foods is okay or not. So this is also innovation. And I also see one company, okay, they collected the wastage from the every house, and they create the new things. So that is uh, give the solution to our community for our environment. So like this is the social innovation happened. Okay, so you can focus onto the any sustainable development goal, and you can bring new ideas, and you also can get the fund. Dr. Yunus also, he also offered the funding to the new idea. If you can convince any of the investor, that was called the angel investor. Okay, if you give your idea, if your idea is very good and innovative, okay, if you have the good financial model, okay, if you present well, then you can get the funding from the international companies. The halt prize also have in UPM. Every year we organize the halt prize. The halt prize also, they uh, invest the new idea if you win their prize. So let's try. And then you see the if you give an innovation, there have some process like idea creation. You have to create the idea, then you have to make the experiment. Idea have to you have to examine into the field. The prototype will become. Then feasibility determination, like you have to analyze financial ability, financial visibility, and practicality. If you think anything, if you want to bring something new, whether this idea is practical or not, or it's a dream only. Okay, so like this process happen, and finally you have to prepare a final application. Okay, a financial model or business proposal. You have to prepare a business proposal. So this is the circle, how the innovation happen. At first, idea creation, then experiment, then determination, the practicality, and the final application. And there have the disruptive innovation. I give some example here. Previously, we used the camera, Nikon camera. Now you see the phone already have available. So this, after coming the phone, the high quality phone camera, the business of the camera already gone. Okay, so that means that this phone, this mobile phone, considered as a disruptive technology. And you see the Netflix, when the Netflix come, the movie business impacted. When the Grab come, Uber come, the traditional taxi business impacted negatively. So that, and fintech, when the fintechs come, like Alipay, okay, GrabPay, so it creates the new option. It gives the option to the customer to pay in different way. So in that sense, the other company, other financial bank, their business is impacted negatively. Previously, we used the Britannica Encyclopedia, but now we use the Wikipedia. So those type of innovation creates the market disruption. So strategy includes innovation, culture, value innovation, structure support innovation, staffing builds talent for innovation, leadership drives innovation. This is okay, type of change. So when we change something, our leadership also have to be changed. The change leader, because if leader not change, then other organization, other employee don't follow this. It's very difficult to change, bring change in the organization. So leader have to be confident about the ability, willingness. He have to be strong will, burning desire to bring the changes, the seize the opportunity. If he perceive this opportunity, he perceives this change as an opportunity, like COVID-19. If some company they perceive it as a threat, some company perceive it as an opportunity. So expect and embrace surprise. We should not complain always. We have to embrace the changes. If any new rules and regulation come, circumstances come, make things happen. So these are the consider. These are the factors we have to consider uh, from our leaders. And you see, I give you one example. Like in Thailand, okay, the Thai Air, they innovate a new restaurant in the plane, inside the plane. So they um, come up with a new idea. They serve as same service provided when in the aeroplane. So they give the foods and then service is high class quality. Okay, they provided. So in that case, they change their business policy. They are making money as well, and also it's a part of CSR as well. The people, some people, they never travel in the air. They can take the those type of services. So here are the pyramid, organizational change pyramid. The in the top, you see the change will be very few. The top management don't want to change a lot. They change the few strategic change, but in the major change will become in the middle part. The manager, they change the product, they change the technology, they change in the people, they recruit the new people, they sack the previous worker based on the KPI. If the employee productivity is less, there's the sack. And the downstairs, you see the small scale change. Downstairs also not big change, because if we have to maintain the current production, okay, and productivity. If you suddenly change everything overnight, it will not good for the organization. So slowly we have to input the change, we have to install the change into the organization. So they have some strategy of the change from the leadership, like force coercion. It's like the you give the direction, you have to change this thing, otherwise you will be get the punishment. Okay, this is the force. By force, you bring change. And in the second part, you see the rational persuasion. It's like you give the information, you give the knowledge, you give the fact and figure. Like this strategy worked in the America. So we want to bring change in our company from next month. So they used already like 5 years, then they get the better result. So we want to follow. So this type of fact and figure they provided, so that the employee understand. And then the shared power means that you give the support to the employee and you give the value and commitment. You take the promise from the employee as well to participate, because without the participation of the employee, the no changes will be effective. Okay? So this three type of change, strategic change, can be happen, like force, like fact and figure, and also the shared power. You have to empower the employee. The resisting change, this is the reason why the employee don't want to embrace the change, like fear of unknown. They don't know if the change happen, what happened. Okay, so they don't welcome the changes. And disrupted habit, their habit, you see in some company, if they make rules that you have to use the you have to use the electronic device mostly should not use the paperless, okay, should not use the paper. So in that case, some people they just use previously paper, so it's not easy to cope up with the new changes because it's already become the habit. And dress professionally, I already said some company they have rules, you have to wear the coat tie and then everything, shoes, shiny shoes. So but some company they are very flexible, you can wear anything, just semi formal as well. And also loss of confidence, um, loss of control. They think the company will be forcing them to bring changes, so they don't want to embrace the change. So this type of factors are resisting, it's a barrier to bring the change. Okay, so we finish here the our second chapter. Okay, are you okay with this chapter?